You know what time it is, ladies and gentlemen. We are back again. Another edition of That's a Bet podcast. I go by the name of Lockett 2Ts. And I'm joined by someone who really doesn't need an introduction. I tell you guys this every show. But he is the greatest co-host on planet podcast. He goes by the name of Will Judson. I call him Willie, baby. What's up, Will? What's going on with you, man?
Nothing much, man. I'm excited. We got football is finally back. It's not the NFL, which is my favorite, but we got college football this week, so I'm pumped up.
Hey, man, college football is where it's at. You know, a lot of money to be made in college football. So this episode of That's a Bet podcast, we are going to bring you our six-pack of college football picks. Will's going to give you his top three. 2Ts, and that's me. I'm going to give you my top three, and we're going to get up out of here. So short, quick, sweet, and to the point, we're going to give you guys our best college football picks. Before we get started, you know we start every show by saying, if you see a bet, you make a bet. Now that's a bet. All right? That's just the motto that we live by. And I want to make sure you guys are following us on social media. Because, Will, I don't know about you, man, but that man right there, Will, has been balling this week. Make sure y'all follow him at Group 13 Sports. That's GROUP, the number 13. That's 13 Sports. And also follow me at LOCKETT, the number 2 TS. That's Lockett 2Ts. And follow the show. You got to follow the show on Instagram at That's a Bet Podcast. We've been posting some crazy picks, man. Well, it's been a fun week. Hey, what you think about that tab trifecta, man? We started out blazing, had a rough night last night, but I mean, how you feeling about it? It's been pretty fun.
Man, I feel great about the tab trifecta. Like you said, it's been up and down, more up than down.
Yes, sir.
Still a profitable situation when you think about what we've done all week. So we just want to continue that and stay on the upside of things. So tab trifecta, y'all will see that every single night because we're in the action every night. But
yep.
I love it, man. So
yep. Hey, that's a bet. You know how we rock, man. So without further ado, Will, I want to jump right into our picks, man. College football, and I want to let everybody know our forte is the NFL. I want to get that record straight. But that does not mean we are not pretty damn good at college football. I think last year, I know Will had a stretch, man. I don't know if it was 2 or 3 weeks straight. I mean, we were picking 6 picks and he was going 5-1 every week. You know, I mean, you were on fire, man. So I think college football is all about looking at, to me, the front sevens, to me, kind of dominate the game. A lot of those big teams, Alabama, Clemson, some of those powerhouses, dominating the trenches. So, and looking at trends. I mean, a lot of trends in college football really matter. So, we're gonna start out. You know, let's go ahead and pull a brew out of the box. What is your first college football play? Starting this weekend off on Thursday night. What's your first favorite college football play?
Well, starting off, I'm rolling with the national champions, the Clemson Tigers, -10 in the first quarter against Georgia Tech.
Okay.
Now, the reason why I say that is Clemson has 8 starters returning on a dynamic offense from last year that averaged 44 points a game, and 2 key players. Trevor Lawrence, who's the quarterback, he's all world. He would have been the number 1 pick in the draft this year if he could have came out.
Yep.
He's just a sophomore. And then you got Travis Etienne, who rushed for 1658 yards last year. Very explosive.
That much?
That much.
Wow.
When you think about this, Clemson, they lost a lot of talent on defense. But remember, this is Dabo Swinney.
Yeah.
This is Clemson, and they don't what's the word I'm looking for? They don't take a step back, they just reload.
Yep.
And so that D-line that they had to replace that all went to the NFL last year, everybody that they replaced them with are at least 4 stars.
Yeah.
That's a key situation there when you think about Clemson. Think about this too, Mike. Clemson is on a 21-game winning streak. They haven't lost since October 2017.
Wow.
And they've won the national championship 2 out of the last 3 years. So we're talking about a potential dynasty with Dabo Swinney. Also, they've won 10 straight games by at least 10 points or more. Or no, excuse me. Yes, by at least 10 points or more, including crushing Alabama in the national championship last year, 44-10.
Oh wow.
That's a sour memory for me because I picked Alabama last year. You picked Clemson. You were right on that.
Yes, sir. Getting money.
Right, but I expect to see more of that this year, and especially in this game against Georgia Tech, who's got a new coach,
Yep.
new offense. If you know, they ran the triple option last year, so they still have personnel for the triple option, but they're going to try to run a pro offense. So I think it's going to be a little bit of an adjustment period for Georgia Tech, and I expect
agree.
Clemson to blow them out. This could be a situation where Trevor Lawrence and company is out of the game by the third quarter, no more than halftime. So instead of putting the full game responsibility on backups that'll be playing in the second half, I'm going to jump all over it in the first quarter, and I expect Clemson to cover. So give me Clemson minus 10 for the first quarter and I got that at minus 110. So.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's real good odds. I like that pick there, especially a powerhouse team like that jumping on a newly led Coach Collins Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket team. So I like that. For me, I'm gonna start on the West Coast for my first pick. Kent State. The pride of Ohio, they're going to travel all the way out to the West Coast. They're going out to Arizona State. They're going to be out there at the number one party school in the nation, Arizona State. The Manny Wilkins and N'Keal Harry-less Arizona State. That spread opened up at minus 24.5. But I'm going to look more at the over-under. The first half over-under total is 31.5. I think it is. 30. Actually, hold on. Let me see. I think the line just moved on me. Let me check here, guys. So that one actually is now, because it kind of depends on where you guys catch it. Yep. So right now, it's still at 31.5, and I like the under for the first half for that game. Herm Edwards, he has a coaching job to do this year. He has a freshman quarterback coming in this year. And that freshman quarterback is pretty highly touted. Young kid, Jaden Daniels, starting to show out. But he's a freshman. I think Herm Edwards isn't going to, put too much on him too early. And for me, Kent State's defense, they run a 3-3-5 defense, which that's kind of like a knife through butter type of defense. But I think the fact that Herm Edwards is going to come out and, slow play at Kent State. Kent State offense is one of the worst offenses in the nation last year. They played one of the slowest tempos as well. So for me, I think is an edge on that under 31.5. I think second half Arizona State, will flex their muscles, kind of open it up, as well as Kent State too. But first half, I like Kent State and Arizona State to go under 31.5 for the first half total. And I'm thinking 1 or 2 units on that one, not going too heavy. It's the first game of the season, college football, so I don't want to go too heavy there. So now we'll kind of go into my second favorite pick for college football as we jump into this 6-pack of college football picks presented by my favorite brew, Dos Equis. I want to jump right into, to me, my sleeper team of the year. I think a lot of people like this team, but the Utah Running Utes. Will, what's a running Ute? You even know what that is? What's a Ute?
I think it's an Indian.
Is it Indian? Okay.
I think so, yeah.
I'm going to have to look that up. But
Indian tribe, yeah.
Yeah, so the Utes are actually traveling to BYU. A tough road game. BYU is a tough place to play. No offense to any Mormons out there, but it's always hard to go into a stadium full of Mormons and, get excited, jump around and act like a crazy man because, Mormons are pretty reserved. But
and it goes across in all sports. Look at when teams go play the Utah Jazz. It's tough.
Yep, it's just tough to be in that arena. But I tell you one thing, the Utah Jazz fans are a little bit we're not going to go there on this show. We're gonna keep it. I ain't even gonna piss nobody off. Let me not do that. But they call this game the Holy War. So it's one of those games. It's kind of a rivalry there. Both in state. And it's been pretty close for most years. I think the spread being at 6.5 is for that reason, because it is a rivalry game. Start the season in college football. But Utah comes into this game ranked number 9 in the nation. Actually, hold on. What are they ranked now? Let me see where my Utes are. You know what they rank, Will?
What is their ranking?
What's their ranking right now? I think they in the top 10, ain't they? Let me see where my boys are at.
I think they're at like 14 to be
Okay,
honest.
14. Yeah, they didn't crack. They didn't crack it yet. They didn't crack
But
it.
this is a team that has a lot of high expectations. I've even got some people that are putting them in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think Lee Corso and some other guys at ESPN, were all over. Yeah. You know, I wouldn't go that far. You know, they do have an all-world running back. You know, that's pretty darn good, but I really wouldn't go that far to give them, you know, the college playoff because their schedule is tough. But Zach Moss is a beast, and we'll see if he can come back and be the beast that I think and know he can be. But I really like Utah in this game. -6.5 is the spread. I like them to cover that spread. Even though they're on the road, I think they have enough talent. They have a lot of guys returning this year, offense and defense. And I think they're going to ride Zach Moss all the way to a victory. I think they actually win this game by 10 or more. So I think this spread is a little bit soft. And Vegas really, really went soft on this one. So give me the Utah Utes, running Utes, -6.5 in the Holy War. Will, let's open up another beer, man. Who you got for this one?
Well, I'm gonna stay out there in Provo, Utah. I got a bet on this game as well.
Okay.
And I agree with that. I would just say bettors beware. That this game, they call it the Holy War. It's a close game. Like the last 10 years, it's been a pretty close game. Utah was down by like 18 points in the second half last year, and they came back and won 35-27. So it's typically a close game. But the angle that I'm going with this game, I'm taking Utah and BYU tonight under 49 points. Got that at -120 for the odds. Think about this. Both of these teams are physical teams. They're built from the inside out. So everything is predicated upon their offensive line playing defense. Utah's head coach, Kyle Whittingham, love him. One of the best coaches in the nation as far as covering against the spread. And just overall fundamentally sound. He's from up under Urban Meyer. He's a very disciplined coach, and he's always built his teams off of running the football and playing physical defense. You throw in the fact that this is a huge rivalry game, like we talked about, and it's being played in BYU, which is a tough place to get up for. And when you get out there in that high elevation, it's a tough game. So I expect this game to start out a little slow and then pick up, with eventually Utah taking over and winning the game. And covering the spread. But my bet is the under 49. Think about this as well, Mike. In the last 15 years, BYU is 14-1 to the under. 14-1 to the under in the first game of the year.
Wow.
I like those odds, particularly being that they're at home. They want to keep this game close with a more talented Utah game. They got to muddy the game up and keep it low scoring and drain some of that clock. I'm going to take the under in this one.
Okay. All right. So Holy War, we both have two bets on the Holy War there. Look like we opened the same type of brew out of that six-pack when it comes to that pick. But moving right along, guys, make sure, again, that you follow the podcast at That's a Bet Podcast on social media. We'll have all type of content posted, and I'll also go ahead and post our six-pack of picks on there once we are done with the podcast so you can see all of our picks. And they will be, I'm thinking I may put them on our handles as well, our Twitter handle as well. But I really want to get you guys following us on Instagram because we post a lot of video content there. So let's see. My final pick here, my final brew out the six-pack, I want to go to Ohio, Cincinnati, hosting the Bruins. And Chip Kelly, man, do me and him have history? That man has lost me a lot of money. Whether it's NFL, whether it's college. But I can say one thing.
Shoot, not only that, he lost people a lot of games, particularly the people of Philadelphia. Keep going.
You're damn right. I definitely agree. But there's something in college football where I think a lot of people take home field advantage to heart too much. I think a lot of people think, okay, this team's at home, that's going to give them a big 7-point, 10-point edge. I really don't think that really means much at all. UCLA is currently +3 and +115 money line. So they're the underdog for sure going into Cincinnati. Chip Kelly, small road dog. Recreational bettors, you're going to overvalue that. You overvalue Cincinnati because they have to travel cross country, all that kind of stuff. But favorites at home and home field advantage. Will, do you know the number one team over the past 5 years who's had the best home field advantage? Just try to take a guess.
Shoot, if I had to guess, I'd say Boise State.
Close. Boise State was like 8. Number one team, the UAB Blazers.
Wow.
They being a home field, having home field advantage as far as points. They are 16-2-1 covering since 2005 in that scenario.
They need to limit the rankings to only Power 5. Keep the group of 5 out because we know 44 people go to UAB's games.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, 42. But the crazy thing was Alabama was pretty low. We know how Alabama does because their spreads are so wide. And I think it's skewed a little bit just simply because of that. A lot of these big teams have big, huge spreads. But with that being said, since 2005, Will, betting small road dogs to win has returned a profit of $10,071. That's if you're a $100 better. So since 2005, if you bet every game, which was I think there were 60-something games that had that scenario, they only hit at 48%, but the plus money payouts resulted in that's a $10,000 profit because they're underdogs.
Odds, yeah.
Exactly. Yep. So that's what you guys have to remember. If it's, for instance, tonight it's plus 115 UCLA, and that's my pick. I'm taking UCLA to win the game outright. If you don't feel confident with them winning, you could have caught the line. I think it's plus 3. Some places have it plus 2.5, kind of fluctuating. But I love them as an underdog. They have an up-and-coming defense. Had a lot of guys hurt last year. They're coming back. And they have a really, really nice quarterback. I think it's Dorian Green. Thompson Green. He got 2 last names. Let's put it that way. But he's real special. If he can take care of the ball, not turn it over, I think they have a real good shot of going into Cincinnati and stealing one. So give me UCLA plus 115. Chip Kelly rolled underdog. Let's take that one to the bank. And Will, what you got for your last college football pick, man?
Before I jump on that last one, I'll say this. You and Courtney, y'all are big time over there. So your bankroll is a lot bigger than mine. But as for me and my family, we're not gonna put our money on Chip Kelly right now. He's got to show us before we can put $1 on him.
Not on old Chip.
Nah. I can't. I gotta see it first. So good luck to you on that one.
Okay.
But getting on to my last bet, and I'm taking this one down to the state of Louisiana. New Orleans.
Okay. New Orleans. All right.
Right. The university, or I don't know if they call it the University of, or if it's Tulane University, but I'm taking FIU minus 110 plus 3 versus Tulane. Ooh. I'm taking the points with FIU. I like what I saw from FIU last year. They went 9-4, and they're returning I think 16 total starters, 8 on offense, 8 on defense. Their quarterback, James Morgan, who I like a lot, threw 26 touchdown passes last year. Don't get me wrong, Tulane did finish the season strong last year. They had, in the last 5 games, to get bowl eligible, to get 6-6, they had to go 4-1, and that's exactly what they did. But I watched maybe 4 or 5 of their games last year.
Yeah. And
the thing that I got or picked up is, don't get me wrong, they improved as the year went on, but to me it seemed like they overachieved just a little bit.
Yeah.
So when you look at it from anything from a number standpoint, even if it's the stock market or whatever, you see something spike up really quick, it usually regresses to the mean a little bit. So
True.
I think Tulane, this could be that year where they regress a little bit. Maybe they do improve and still get to 6-6, but I just feel like 6-6 was an overachievement for them last year.
Gotcha.
But I'm gonna take that approach with this game. I love Butch Davis from his time at the University of Miami. He's the one that got it rolling when they started back winning in the early 2000s. And I just expect FIU to be ready to play. Tulane is a tough place to go and play.
Yeah.
All of those little towns down there in Louisiana, their crowds get a little rowdy, and if you don't go in there ready to play, you can get beat.
Yep.
But I expect Butch Davis to have those guys ready. We'll see what happens tonight. But I'll take the points with FIU. I'm not really ready to say that they'll win the game outright, but give me the points.
Okay, I like that. Okay, that's some good facts there. Butch Davis, man, that's a classic head coach name in college football. But hey guys, we told you it's gonna be short and sweet. You know what? Matter of fact, you hear that? Will, you hear that? That's my jam, man. I freaking love that song, man. So, hey, when you hear the music, you know what time it is. So, Will, man, go and take us home, man.
leave y'all with what we started y'all off with. And this is what we tell you. If you see a bet, make a bet. And just remember, that's a bet.
That's a bet. Yep, that's a bet. So for your boy, 2 T's, you can call me Lockett. He's Will. You can call him Will Jetson. Or you can call him Willie Baby. We are That's a Bet Podcast. And we will see you guys again tomorrow. That'll be Friday. We're going to give you guys our best picks for college football for the weekend. Big slate. Whole lot of picks. So we appreciate you guys checking in every week, every show, and listening to the podcast. Again, follow us on social media at That's a Bet Podcast. And we'll see you guys next show, man. Peace.